Welcome to Logical-NDE. My name is Emily, and it is my pleasure to narrate the near-death experiences of those who have seen the other side. If you are new to our channel, welcome. For our regular viewers, please sit back and enjoy today's episode. Today's story was submitted to the channel by Angela. First and foremost, we would like to thank you for allowing us to share your experience with our viewers. We hope Angela's experience can offer comfort and reassurance that there is in fact life after death. I awoke in the middle of the night with a severe migraine. I had experienced occasional migraines since I was a teenager. This migraine was extremely painful and I should have sought treatment at an emergency room. However, since I had young children at the time, I did not want to wake them or my husband, so I attempted to treat myself. I took my prescription migraine medication, but it did not provide any relief from the excruciating pain. Instead of waiting an hour before taking the second dose as the instructions advised, I waited 20 minutes and took the second dose. I also took 2 over-the-counter pills for migraines. I have always been very sensitive to medications, but at the time I did not consider this. I was solely focused on relieving the unbearable pain. After taking the medication, I became very sleepy and returned to bed. Even though I continued to experience severe pain, I drifted off to sleep, but I would awaken by gasping for breath. I quickly realized that when I drifted off to sleep, I stopped breathing. I had accidentally over-medicated myself and I was fearful I would fall asleep and die. I said a simple prayer, "Dear God, please don't let me die. I want to be a mother and wife." I had attended Christian churches since I was a child, yet I was uncertain if God would hear my prayers since I felt insignificant at that time in my life. Immediately after praying, a presence came over my bed. I was lying on my back with my eyes closed, but I could sense a shadow had been cast as something moved over me and then stood next to my bed. As soon as I sensed the presence, I felt frightened, and I intentionally kept my eyes tightly shut. I heard a voice deliver a message to me. It said, "An angel of the Lord stood by them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid." I later looked up this passage, and it is Luke 2-9 in the American Standard Version of the Bible. Once I realized I had been telepathically informed that an angel had arrived to help me, it then felt as if the angel slipped his hand through my skin and directly into my abdomen. The angel's fingers gently gripped the exterior wall of my stomach, and a sensation of static-like energy moved through my stomach and up through my torso. The sensations were not painful, but they were very startling. As I was trying to make sense of what I was experiencing, I felt my deceased dad's presence and I could hear him speaking to me. He attempted to comfort me by repeatedly and very calmly stating, "You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay." Then I became aware of a large, powerful presence hovering over my body. When I noticed the additional presence, a gorgeous crystal blue waterfall appeared within my inner vision. The water was the most beautiful hues of blue I have ever seen, and I marveled at the clarity of the water. Blindingly white light danced and sparkled on the surface of the water. I had the sensation of liquid love cascading into my heart. The love was so pure and overwhelming, I immediately began to weep. The liquid love flowed through my heart and filled up my chest cavity to the point that I could not expand my lungs to inhale. I was aware of having significant difficulty breathing, but it did not concern me. I was completely consumed by the love and nothing else mattered. Eventually breathing became impossible and I consciously and fearlessly surrendered to the love. I moved out of my body, joined with the large presence, and suddenly realized, this is God. The presence was infinite and so powerful that I knew it could only be God. I was immediately concerned that God would judge me for taking too much medication, but the judgment never came. I waited for the judgment and then searched for the judgment in the exquisitely illuminated darkness, but there was not a speck of judgment to be found. As I expanded into pure unconditional love, gratitude flowed out from within my being. I realized this glorious, profound love and perfection was what I had been searching for during my time on Earth, and this love was 1,000,000 times more intense than the love I had experienced while on Earth. I was home. I felt infinite grace, boundless joy, perfect peace, wholeness, complete acceptance, and total adoration. The perfect love was the source of all that is, oneness, and it was within this perfection I wanted to remain. In my blissed-out state, it took all the energy I could muster to telepathically communicate, "Take me." With these 2 words I was attempting to communicate that I wanted to remain in God's pure love forever. I continued to expand in a state of overwhelming bliss, and I became the size of the cosmos and soon realized I was infinite. At this point, I had no recollection of being a daughter, sister, mother, wife, or friend. I had no recollection of having been a human on earth. I was simply spirit, beingness, awareness. I was allowed to expand until I felt as if I could not contain the eternal love, and I was nearing a point where I would explode with bliss and forever be with God. I gladly welcomed the explosion, but at the very last millisecond before the explosion of my being, I was pulled out of the eternal love and I landed with a shocking jolt into my body. I immediately noticed that my hair and pillow were wet from the tears I had cried as the love consumed my heart and spirit. I have no idea how long I was with God, possibly only a few minutes, but when I returned to my body, it was completely healed. The medications had been removed from my body. I was no longer lethargic from the medications, and I was breathing normally. My head was completely pain-free, as if I had never had a migraine. Usually after having a severe migraine, my head would be very sore to the touch for several hours following a migraine, and now I could push against my head and feel no pain or tenderness. The next morning my best friend called, and I told her I had experienced a miracle the night before. I explained that I had experienced the sensation of static in my body as the angel healed me and that my deceased dad had comforted me. I also informed her that I had temporarily been with God in heaven. She suggested I go to the bookstore to find information about miraculous healings. I did as she suggested, and as I was walking into the bookstore, I realized I did not know where to look for a book that would meet my needs. In my mind's eye, I saw a poster of a cast of the TV show called Touched by an Angel. I proceeded to the section of the bookstore where there were books about angels. I picked up books that caught my eye and gathered a stack of books in my arm. I randomly opened the book on top of the stack and read the first paragraph I saw. In the book, a woman described being healed by an angel and feeling ecstatic. This was confirmation that my experience had been real. But how had I walked into the bookstore, found a book, and turned to the exact page that described my experience? I was completely baffled, yet in awe. It took days for me to process the experience and to accept that I had been healed. Honestly, I questioned God as to why I was healed. I finally concluded that I was granted the experience so that I could realize very important information. 1. God hears every prayer. 2. Angels help us when we ask for help. 3. There is no reason to fear death. Angels and loved ones in heaven make sure we never die alone. 4. The love of God, or Source, is for everyone. No one is left out of God's love. 5. God does not judge us. God loves us unconditionally. 6. God loves all of us equally, and in heaven we are one. 7. We are meant to live in the awareness of oneness while we are on earth. This creates heaven on earth. Life becomes much easier when we love and accept one another. 8. Do the work to become the highest version of yourself. 9. Be yourself and help others by using your natural gifts and talents. 10. Everyone struggles with feelings of unworthiness at times. We all want to feel seen, heard, and loved. Show others that they matter. Know that you are worthy of being in healthy relationships where love and respect are mutually shared. Because of the miracle I experienced, I no longer doubt there is a God, and I no longer fear death. I very much look forward to once again being home with God. In the meantime, I have devoted my time on earth to being of service to others. Some days I'm guided to be of service by simply smiling at a stranger. Other days I'm guided to be of service while I'm at work or with family and friends. In every moment, we are given the opportunity to demonstrate love and kindness to ourselves and others. My prayer is that everyone realizes we all have the love and light of God within us, and we are here to shine our light. Thanks for watching today's episode. Please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.